Hello everyone. In our previous class, we talked about burlesque and its types. In that, we talked of high and low burlesque. In high burlesque, especially, we talked about parody and a specific type of parody that is called mock epic or mock heroic poem. Today we will have to talk of low burlesque and lampoon. Let's start with varieties of low burlesque. First one of that is Hudibrastic poem. Hudibrastic poem. Hudibrastic. Hudibrastic. It takes its name from Samuel Butler's Hudibras. So he wrote Hudibras, that is a poem of course, in 1663. See, sometimes a particular genre, a particular work of art becomes the model for all others who are going to come, which are going to come later. See, for example, whenever we talk of picaresque novel, we always remember Cervantes, his novel, Spanish novel, that is Don Quixote. In the similar manner, all the characteristics of the tragedies that Aristotle talks of, he has taken those all characteristics from previous existing tragedies written in Greek or other classical language. Whenever we talk of the characteristics of epic, where do these characteristics exist earlier? Where are they taken from? They are taken from Iliad and Odyssey and other sort of classical epics. I hope now it's clear. So here we have a different kind of poem in low burlesque, and that is Hudibrastic poem. And that poem got its name on the name of Samuel Butler's poem, that is Hudibras, was published in 1663. What was its characteristic, or you can say, what does it talk about? Which satirized rigid Puritanism. Puritanism, you understand? Puratanvad. Puritans were, of course, the object of concern of much more literature. Their terror, their way of living, how compelled many people to suffer. As you talk of the novel by Hawthorne, The Scarlet Letter, how they punished a woman for committing adultery. In the time of Cromwell also you see the importance of these Puritans, how they used to be very orthodox in nature. So in this particular poem, Hudibras, it satirized a rigid Puritanism. Rigid, why rigid? Means no flexibility was there in the way of thinking. They were not liberal, in fact very rigid. So how did Butler depict that Puritanism? By describing the adventures of a Puritan knight. So he has a character there in that poem, and he is Puritan. His adventures are described. What is his name? Sir Hudibras. Hudibras. So the name of the poem or the name of the character are, it's similar. Okay. Instead of the doughty deeds and dignified style. What is called doughty deeds? DOUGHTY. Doughty means brave deeds. Courageous deeds means instead of having courage and courageous behavior. And of course, the poem has dignified style of the traditional genre. So style is also dignified. And genre, which kind of genre? Chivalric romance. What is chivalric romance? There you find depiction of bravery. Chivalry means bravery. A genre in which you find real depiction of bravery. So in this particular poem, what do we find? We find that the character does perform doughty deeds, and the style of the writing is also dignified, as we find in chivalric romance. So what is the problem? However, we find the knightly hero experiencing mundane and humiliating misadventures. So this is the thing that is of our concern. Even then we find that knight experiencing mundane and humiliating misadventures. Not adventure. He is having misadventure. So mundane means dull and ordinary. So this is how the trivial thing comes, which are described in doggerel verses and ludicrously colloquial idiom. So triviality lies here. Okay. That the text is written in loosely styled and irregular verses, and at the same time the idiom is colloquial. Colloquial, you understand? The discourse, simple discourse, or discourse in the way of common man. So this loosely styled and irregular words and colloquial idiom, that shows the downfall of that genre. Chivalric romance, foolishness is depicted, misadventure is depicted. So means, what do we find here? We find low burlesque here. And what is the characteristic of that low burlesque that we talked earlier? If the form and style are trivial and the subject is high and dignified. So form and style that we find, the subject is of course the depiction of the adventure, but even in that adventure we have misadventure, and of course we have night, Puritan night. But since satire is being done, for that the language is used in such a manner that it is doggerel in nature. Irregular verses are there, colloquial idiom is there, so style is deflated, style is reduced. Okay. Then we have travesty or travesty. It mocks a particular work by treating its lofty subject in a grotesquely undignified manner and style. See, it's different from Hudibrastic poem. How its main focus is a particular work. Okay, a particular work is the thing of concern, and in that particular work we have lofty subject, we have very dignified subject. But again, since this is low burlesque, so that subject is to be deflated, is to be reduced, is to be made trivial. So the subject is of concern. Okay, so how does that particular thing work out? How a particular lofty subject is to be converted into some grotesque material. Grotesquely means making natural into absurd by decoration. So how over decoration makes something very bad looking. The example of that we have in Travesty. For example, the New Yorker once published a travesty of Hemingway's novel. What is the name of the novel? Across the River and Into the Trees. That is the name of the novel. And New Yorkers wrote a travesty on that, and they changed the name of the title in a mocking manner, and that is Across the Street and Into the Bar. See how the travesty of novel Across the River and Into the Trees has become Across the Street and Into the Bar. Another example that we have is, as you know, the famous novel by Mary Shelley, Frankenstein. one travesty as a film was made on that, and its name was Young Frankenstein. So Young Frankenstein, that is a movie, is a travesty on that particular novel. So a travesty mainly concerns a particular work of art, and it makes it deflated. Okay, it makes its subject matter as deflated one with high exaggeration of style and manner. Okay, see, for example, travesty that we can realize in our daily life. For example, if a teacher wants to become satirical for the late coming of a student in the class, suppose the class is running and the student takes entry in mid of the class, and when teacher sees that that particular student has come, okay, so when the student enters and the teacher says, "Oh, you have come, let us celebrate. Oh, please bring some water for him. Sir, do you want to have some cup of tea? I hope you are tired." See, this is very decorative kind of manner. So that is not expected from the teacher for the student in the running class. But when this is being done, this extra decoration, this exaggeration is being done, that makes the thing ridiculous. The student understands that, oh, this honor is not actually the honor, this is the kind of insult. Are you getting what I'm saying? So this can be a kind of travesty that we do with a particular work of art. With extra, with over exaggeration, we make that particular art's subject matter deflated. Clear? I hope now it's clear. Okay, then, except high burlesque and low burlesque, we have one more thing that is called lampoon. See how it is different from them. While making burlesque, high or low burlesque, we deal with a particular work or particular genre, the subject matter or the style and form of the whole topic or the whole content. Okay, but what do we do here in lampoon? It's a short satirical work. It's short in nature. Understand, a short satirical work or a passage in a longer work. So not the whole work, just a passage in a longer work, which describes, so since this is satirical, which describes the appearance and character of a particular person in a way that makes that person ridiculous. So here we have the description of what? Of appearance and character of a particular person. Over exaggeration is done with that particular person in a longer work of art when we have a short piece. Okay, that makes that person ridiculous. And see, the next line will make you understand everything. It typically employs caricature. So I hope you have heard about caricature. Whenever we talk of Charles Dickens, we always have caricatures in his novels. Characters are portrayed as caricatures. So over exaggeration of the bad things. Okay, when this is done in a particular work of art, in a short length, that is called lampoon. Okay, what is caricature here? Which in verbal description. What do you mean by verbal? Does it convey some meaning with verb? Of course not. Verbal means something related with words. So in description with words, it exaggerates or distorts. Why does the author do so? For comic effect. Okay? So that particular description that we have about a character, that much description which makes it's exaggerated. So what is the thing of concern for that character? A person's distinct physical features or personality traits. So for caricature, what do we need? We need distinctive physical features or personality traits. So something that makes that particular person different from other. And that particular trait or that particular physical appearance is over exaggerated. And that is how caricature is created. So that portrayal is called caricature, and this sort of text that we have in a longer work of art is called lampoon. Is it clear now? Suppose see, for example, we have the character Micawber in, I hope, David Copperfield's, yes, in that autobiographical novel of Charles Dickens. And there we have Micawber, who always has this thinking, and who always says that everything is all right, everything will be fine, all is well, like this kind of thing, this kind of So how this particular way of thinking of him is making over exaggerated, is made laughable when we find that he is in a shop and he gets the news that his house is burning, and he again says the same thing, everything is all right, all is well, and that kind of thing, something good is to come. That kind of thinking makes him the person of ridicule. You cannot think in the similar manner in each and every context. If you do so, you become caricature. That behavior of yours make you very mad kind of person. The people will not take you as a normal person. So this is the kind of over exaggeration that we find in the caricatures, and ultimately that makes that part or that passage or that short piece as lampoon. In Dryden's Absalom and Achitophel, that is a personal satire, you can say, or political satire. Absalom and Achitophel, it includes 25-line Lampoon. So not the whole work of art, not the whole Absalom and Achitophel. In that particular poem, 25-line Lampoon is there. And it's about whom? It's about Zimri. Who was Zimri? Zimri was his contemporary, Dryden's contemporary. He is talking of him. Zimri was the Duke of Buckingham. So his character, his particular appearance and characteristics is being caricatured here in this Lampoon of 25 lines out of that longer text. Okay, so till now we have the examples of novel, epic, short piece in the poem, or the travesty, Hudibrastic poem. In a modern day scenario, what is the case with burlesque? We have, in every field of study, we always have modifications, evolutions. So one particular genre or way of writing is being applied on others also. So when we talk of burlesque in modern literature, it has taken a theater form as well. So now you can perceive that in dramas as well. And that theater form is, done by the imitation of serious dramas and operas. So this is how burlesque has widened its domain, has widened its periphery. Okay, so this was all about burlesque that we wanted to talk about. Thank you. Have a good day.